Question for you. What does the Queen, Paul McCartney, Stephen Hawking and Eric Morecambe all have in common? Well, back in 2002, they all found themselves behind our next guest in a BBC poll of the 100 greatest Britons of all time. Yes, they're sat at number 17, squeezed between Margaret Thatcher and Queen Victoria, which I believe is a phrase I've never said before, was actor and award-winning performer Michael Crawford. Michael, of course, enjoying a successful career spanning over 4 decades, from hapless Frank Spencer and Some Mothers Do Have 'Em through to the iconic title role in Phantom of the Opera, to his current role as the Wizard, opposite BBC Over the Rainbow winner Daniel Hope at the London Palladium, the production of Wizard of Oz. So he's not done bad, has he, for a lad born in Salisbury? Yes, you'll find he is a whiz of a whiz, if ever a whiz there was. It is Michael Crawford.
Oh.
Good afternoon, Michael.
Good afternoon, Sue. Hello.
Now, I know you left Wiltshire when you were very young, but do you have any memories of Salisbury and what life was like for your family?
Well, I was only born in Salisbury, so it was a messy affair, and I was then taken to Bulford. So I lived in Bulford Army Camp when I was till I was about 4.
And do you have much memories of your time?
I do. I remember the rain gutters were very, very deep, and I used to follow one gutter that took you to the Naffy, and that was the most fun. And I remembered that, and being taken by my uncle to the Naffy and getting lots of chocolate and stuff like that. It's a wonder I didn't weigh 13 stone by the time I was 8.
Do you ever get back to Bulford, to Wiltshire?
I went down there about 2 years ago, and I drove round, and obviously I didn't recognise really anything because it had all changed so much, but it just felt good to go there again, because I grew up with about 5 aunts. My mother was down there with me on her own, and I had about 5 aunts looking after me, so I was really spoiled by women for the first 5 years of my life. It all went downhill from there on, but during that time it was such fun, and I thought life was going to be really great.
Well, interesting you talk about family, because isn't it right, it's your grandchildren that's been kind of instrumental in your decision to appear in The Wizard of Oz?
They were, yes. They have been. I'd just done 5 years ago, I'd just done The Woman in White, and had a not too good an experience, because I'd caught some virus or other. I'd lost a lot of liquid. I wore this very fat suit and lost a lot of liquid and nutrients and things, so I wasn't at all well. And it turned out I had ME. So I took myself off to New Zealand, and it's somewhere I'd always wanted to go. And I thought I'm going to change my lifestyle completely, and went off there. Started sailing and fishing and growing stuff again, all the things that I wanted to do for quite a few years and enjoy doing. And I slowly got stronger and stronger. And then last year we rented a house, the family with the grandchildren, in Sicily. And the children had never seen me work, really. You can see DVDs of Some Mothers, you can listen to Phantom, you can do, but they'd never really been and seen me live work, and I had no idea. It didn't occur to me. And so I started showing off to them and telling them I was in the Secret Service in earlier years, and telling stories. So they were laughing greatly every day. And then I started doing back somersaults and brought the physical side into the pool, and they thought that Papa suddenly had come alive and was hysterical, man. So I thought, I got a phone call from Andrew Lloyd Webber saying, would you like to play the Wizard in The Wizard of Oz? And I thought, I hadn't really wanted to work, but now they'd whetted my appetite, and so I thought this could be it, and I accepted. And so it's all down to them that I'm there, and I'm really glad that they made me do it.
Always listen to the grandchildren, basically,
yes.
Isn't it? Yeah. And I know the classic Harold Arlen tunes are in there, but also some new songs from Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber. Are they quite tricky to learn?
The one I have was impossible. It's one of those things that before we take an exam, we have the stuff written all over the ceiling. I had these lyrics on the ceiling of my bedroom. For 3 months it took me to learn this song, The Wonders of the World, because it goes quite quickly and it's very wordy and talking about all these places around the world. And of course now it's quite a doddle. And one night I had a problem, but hopefully nobody noticed. And so that's a special song that I enjoy doing. I don't have as much to do in the show as other shows that I've done. It's much more a team effort with all the Scarecrow and the Dorothy and the Tin Man, the Lion and the Witches, and they're all amazing. We've got a new Witches song, which is a terrific song, and also play some comedy roles in the middle there.
Well, the nice thing is now you've learnt the song, you can redecorate the ceiling. Now you've cracked it, which is great.
Yes.
I've got to be honest, Michael, I have been waiting for about 30 years to speak to you because it was with you that I actually got thrown out of my religious education class at Clarendon Comprehensive in Trowbridge. It's absolutely true. Alison Milstead, yes, have a deep intake of breath, Michael, was having boyfriend trouble, okay? We were only 12 at the time, and she was quite advanced. And she said she was going to have to be frank with her boyfriend, to which, guess what I replied? I went, "Oh, Betty," in the middle of the class, and I got thrown out of RE because of you, Michael.
My gosh. So you've been very irreligious ever since?
Absolutely, frankly.
Oh, my gosh.
All your fault, Mr. Crawford.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
So this is a revenge call, really. I'm done.
Exactly. Forget the Wizard of Oz. This is the only reason why I've called you.
Oh, gosh.
But we've got to talk about some mothers, because watching it back, you do always wear gloves, don't you, during all the stunts? I've always noticed that. Is there one that you were most proud of at the stunt that they asked you to do?
I suppose the roller skates really was one of the sort of best accomplishments, because it took about 4 days to film, because it goes on for a bit and then finishes live in the studio during the show, where I come through this plate glass window and do a somersault and end up in a cot. But one of the most memorable was when we were on the outside of a building on the North Circular Road, I went up in a window cleaning cradle, and we practiced this, and the stuntmen practiced it, and we did it, and it's fine. So there was no question. We went up in the window cleaner's cradle and did the windows at the thing, and we have this imaginary fight over the bucket at the top of the building, and the bucket falls over the side, and I nearly fall over the side, and we got the shot, and everyone was happy, and they said, "All right, bring the cradle down." So we start to bring the cradle down with me hanging on a rope outside the window cleaning cradle, and it gets stuck coming down in the grooves. It's not used to having this weight outside. And I was stuck there for an hour and a half. Well, I then would have been back in religious studies immediately, because the prayers that I said while watching Wembley pass round before me 15 times as I swung 360 degrees on the end of this line, which seemed to get thinner and thinner. And they slowly rescued me and brought me up. And the stuntman was on my shoulders. And unfortunately, he'd been caught short halfway through the hour and a half that I was up there. So it was an altogether unpleasant afternoon. But it comes out quite amusingly on the screen, and none of this pain is seen.
No, an experience you'll never forget, I guess.
Oh, certainly never forget.
Just very briefly, because we've got to go. I know time's really tight. But are you up for a bit of challenge? We've got a little game called Crawford Comes Home to mark the fact you lived in Bulford for years. So we're going to test you on your Wiltshire route. We've got a jingle. Okay, don't be intimidated by the musicality of this, Michael. Here we go. Crawford comes home, 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 Michael Crawford. Are you still with us?
Yes.
Marvellous. Just about. Really simple, multiple choice. Okay, all you know about Wiltshire. Chalk figures. We're renowned for our chalk figures. Are these figures horses, donkeys or gerbils in Wiltshire?
Horses.
Correct. Wiltshire has two famous stone circles. One is Avebury, the other is...
Stonehenge.
Correct. And anyone born in Wiltshire is known as a very clever chap, a cider drinker, or a moonraker. Which one is it, Michael?
Moonraker.
Oh, he is a moonraker. Michael Crawford, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, that's the only thing I've ever won.
Checks in the post, Michael. The wondrous was Michael Crawford. You can see Michael playing the Wizard at the London Palladium in The Wizard of Oz. More on the website, wizardofozthemusical.com. Michael Crawford, thank you so much for joining us.
It's situated